This is the second video in a little series on how to draw a triangle using a ruler and a protractor. So we're given a question. If angle ABC is 40 degrees and angle BAC is 65 degrees, draw the triangle with baseline AB equals 8 centimetres. And then you're asked to measure three things. Measure angle ACB, measure the line AC and the line BC. And the lines need to be measured to the nearest millimetre. So we will start with our line of 8 centimetres. You may well be given this in the exam. I'm using a felt pen just so it's clear to you what's going on, but you must use a pencil. And the reason for using a pencil is that you can rub it out if it goes wrong. Okay, I'm going to label A, B, and that line is 8 centimetres. Okay, so the first thing we're told is that ABC, that angle's 40 degrees. So that's the angle from A to B to C. So C is up here somewhere, but we don't know where. But if we draw a line at 40 degrees from the horizontal, then we'll know it's somewhere up there. Okay, so I'm going to put the centre of my protractor on point B. And I'm going to line up the horizontal of the protractor along AB, so the zero is hidden in a sense. Now, there's a lot of confusion about which place to start. Where's the angle? How big is it? Do I use the outer scale or the inner scale? And it's a bit of a judgment call. It's a bit of common sense. Does the angle I'm about to measure make sense? So it's useful to remember that 90 degrees goes vertically up from the horizontal line, and our angle is 40 degrees, so it's going to be smaller than that. Okay, 45 is the halfway point. It's going to be smaller than that. So I'm going to use the outer scale because I'm starting to count at 0, and that's on my line. Okay, so I'm going to count up 10, 20, 30, 40, and then I'm going to mark at the 40 degree line, a little point, and then I'm going to draw a line. Oh, I can't even remember which it is now. There seems to be 2 points there. Let me double check that one. It's always worth double checking. It's that point. I think the other point is just part of the paper. Okay, so I'm going to join that to that, and then I'm just going to keep it going. Okay, and it's really important just to keep that line going, because again, that's showing the examiner that you understand how this process works. Okay, so now we're going to do the second angle. BAC, we are told, is 65 degrees. That's B to A to C, and C is up here somewhere. So again, I'm going to use my protractor, and I'm going to put the centre of the protractor on point A, and I'm going to line up the horizontal onto the line AB. Now this time I'm going to use the inner scale because the 0 is on the line, okay? And again, 90 degrees goes vertically up here. My angle is 65. It's less than that, so angles down here are going to be less than 90. Okay, so I'm going to count from the inner scale. It's impossible to see it on this video, but I'm going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and there's 70, so it's halfway between. So I'm going to put my point there. And again, it's important to be accurate with this. Again, the examination board have a process for checking accuracy, and you're probably allowed a degree or 2 either side, but please make it accurate because then you have better chance of full marks. Okay, so I've measured my 2 angles. They've met at a point, which is point C. Okay, I'm going to label my 2 angles. You can do that in ink. So I'm going to do that in red, 65 degrees and 40 degrees. And then I'm going to measure this angle up here. Okay, so I'll just turn my shape round so that, no, it's gone to, I've turned my shape round so I've got this line here as my horizontal, and then I'm going to use my protractor. And again, I know that I need to put it in the centre, and I'm going to line up the 0, and I know again it's less than 90, so I'm going to use the outer scale. And again, my line is quite thick, so my actual angle is going to be slightly off from yours, and I think mine says 77 degrees. So I'm going to mark that there. Okay, now if you did your check, angles in a triangle add up to 180. This is one of the fundamental laws of maths. Angles in a triangle add up to 180. Then I've got 77, 65 and 40. Oops, ignore that line. So that's going to come to 182 degrees, so I am slightly inaccurate. And I think that's because of the felt pen. If you were doing that, you might want to just double check and make sure that you had actually drawn your other angles accurately. Okay, so it's worth just making sure you've done that. Okay, the second thing they've asked us to do is measure the other lengths. I'm just going to get a different colour for that one. Let's get my green. So we're going to measure AC. Well, there we go. I'm going to turn it round just to make it easy for myself. Again, I'm using the centimetres. Don't get confused with the inches. And again, you've got to be accurate to the nearest millimetre. And I make mine 5.3 centimetres. Okay, so that's that one. And then I'm going to measure CB, BC, whichever way around you want to do it. And I've made that 7.6. So BC equals 7.6 centimetres. Okay, so don't just round them up and say, oh, it's about 5 or about 8. That's not accurate enough. It needs to be to the nearest millimetre. Sharp pencil, that's really important. Sharp pencil. I think you can see this, yes. Sharp pencil is essential. Okay, you can get sharp, thin lines, accurate measurements, and then you're not going to get things like 182 degrees, which really should have been more like 180. The nice thing about this, though, it shows I've actually drawn the triangle. I haven't just made it up, and I've actually measured that third angle to double check it. So that's all for this one. Thank you very much.